Hi guys, welcome to our today's live class today. We are going to continue with percentages as we started initially. So stay tuned, get your writing materials, let's move on. Okay? We'll be looking at some word problems that involves percentages. What are the word problems? When we talk about word problems, we are talking about some applications, how we can relate the term percentages uh, to an average individual. Okay, so for us to do that, it is it's exceedingly simple. Okay, first thing we have to do is just first of all, we just have to do what? We just have to do one simple thing. Okay, okay, and that thing is to convert the numbers. So if you look at this now, we are told that a mother buys fruit worth of 80 pounds, and she sold it at a discount of 10%. We are asked how much how much does she pay? So the price of the stuff is 80 pounds and they got a discount of 10%. So what do we have to do? We have to first of all get the discount. And the discount is 10% of the actual price, 10% of 80 pounds. Okay? And that will be 10 out of 100 because 10% is 10 out of 100, then multiplied by the 80 pound in question. If you look at this, we cancel two zeros here and cancel two zeros. We are left with 1 times 8, right? So what's the value for 1 times 8? What is 1 times 8? What is 1 times 8? If you are following, please drop it in the comments. What is 1 times 8? 1 times 8 is 8 pounds. So the actual seller gave the woman £8 discount. So to get the actual amount she paid for the fruit, you got to do £80 minus £8. Okay? And that will be £72. Okay? So the woman £72 for the fruit. The next one we have here is that a savings account increased by 5% on £10,000. We are asked how much interest is given. A savings account increased to by 5%. So since we are talking about increment, do you know what we got to do? The actual amount here is at 100%. So we have 100%, which is the actual amount, okay, plus the 5% increment. So we have it as 5, okay, 5%. Please let us know where you're watching from. 5% increment. What is 100 plus 5? 100 plus 5 is what? What is 100 plus 5? Write that in the comments. What is 100 plus 5? Please do well to like the live, okay? What is 100 plus 5? 100 plus 5 is 105. So we have 105%. So to know how much this actually increased, we are going to do 105 over 100, which is actually 100%. Okay? Then multiplied by the amount of the interest, which is the amount that has the interest, which is £10,000. Okay, so if you have that, you cancel two zeros and cancel two zeros. Okay, so we are having it to be 105 times 100. Okay, and 105 times 100 is going to give you what? Write that in the comment if you are following. 105 times 100 will give you what? What's the value? We have 105, comma 00. That's 10,500. Sorry. So the actual interest the bank is going to pay is 10,500. If you are following, please let us know where you're watching from Do well to like the life. Please, I beg you, please. Look at the next one. We have a shop sells a phone for £45 after giving 10% discount. What is the original price? A shop sells a phone for £45 after giving a 10% discount. What is the original price? This is simple. Please let us know where you're watching. Do well to subscribe, like the live so that you get notified anytime I join again. So what do you have to do? Let that amount the person is the actual price to be what? To be X. So we have it as 10% of the X is equals to what? 450. Okay? This is basically, if you use your mind, you can actually know that the actual amount will be 500 this thing. So we have it as 10 over 100 times X is equal to 450. Okay? Okay, so you can now see that if you have that a phone is sold for 450, okay, and that will be, do I make a mistake here? Check. Do I make a mistake here? Do you suspect a mistake? We have a phone sells for £45 after giving a 10% discount. Okay, so what is the original price? So this will cancel out. Okay, we'll now have it that X over 10 is equal to okay, that's wrong, please. This is wrong. I made a mistake. I used a different route. Okay, so because here we are told that a shop seller is sell a phone for 45 pounds after giving 10% discount. Here we are asked, what is the original price? So for us to know the original price, we are looking for an amount that the 90% of that amount, 90% of that amount X is going to give us what? 450 pounds. Okay? That's what I supposed to do initially. So what do we get? You can now see that 90 over 100 times 450 times X is equals to 450. That will be cancelled to zeros. Okay, so we have 9x over 10 is equals to 450. If you cross and multiply, what do you have? Please, let's like the life, okay? Support me by liking the life. I will appreciate it very well. So if you see that, what do we have? We have 9x is equals to, you times 10 to this. 450 times 10 is what? What is 450 times 10? What is 450 times 10? That is 4,005. So we divide by what? We divide by 9 and divide by 9. If you divide through by 9, you see that the total distance is 500. Okay? So the amount initially was 500 pounds. Okay? So let's look at this. Please, I beg you, like the life, okay? Please like the life. Please like the life. Let us know where you're watching from. The next one, which is number 18, says that a student scored 32 out of 50. What percentage is this? Let us know where you're watching from, okay? Please do like my live, okay? Please, I beg you, please smash the like button, okay? Please, I beg you. Then let's continue from what we are doing. So what do you see we have? You can now see that we have 32 out of, that is over 50. Okay, so what do we do again? We multiply by 100 over 1. Okay, so if you multiply by 100 over 1, this is actually simple. You see that 50 divided itself is 1. If you divide 100 by 50, what are you getting? When you divide 100 by 50, what do you get? Let us know in the comments. When you divide 100 by 50, what do you get? You are going to get 2. Okay? So we have 32 times 2. Okay? What's 32 times 2? What is 32 times 2? Let's see that in the comments. What's 32 times 2? Please, I beg you, like the life, okay? What's 32 times 2? What is 32 times 2? Let's know that in the comments. What is 32 times 2, please? 32 times 2 is 64. Good. Thank you for writing 64. I really appreciate. So the answer is 64%. 64 is the actual answer. You are right. Thank you for the like. Please smash the like button. I would really appreciate it. Rage, please smash the like button. Please, I beg you. Thank you for commenting. Then the next one we have is that a factory produces 800. Thank you for the like. A factory produces 800 items. Okay, 6% was defective. How many item was defective? Let's do that together. Okay, let's do that together. We have that a company this. So what do we have to do? Which is this very, very simple. It's as simple as ABC. What we have to do is very simple as ABC. So what do you know? What do you have to do? You just have to do one simple thing, which is very simple. Okay? It's very, very simple when you want to do it. But if not, if you are not careful, you got to make a mistake. Okay? So what you have to do is very simple. So you just have to, first of all, look at it in a critical way. Okay? If you look at it very well, you understand what you're going to do. What you have to do first is very simple. Okay? If you think you know the answer and you can't get the answer, let us know in the comments. What you just have to do is just to do 6% is 6% of 800. Okay? 6% is 6 over 100, then times 800 over 1. Cancel 2 zeros. If you cancel 2 zeros, you have to cancel another 2. Okay, so that will leave you by 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is what? Let's know that in the comment. Okay, 6 times 8 is what? What's 6 times 8? What's 6 times 8? Marcus, yeah. 6 times 8 is 48. So the answer is what? 48. Okay, the answer is 48. So that's the answer to the first one. It's very, very simple. Let's look at the next number. Let's look at the next number. The next number we'll be looking at is a man. We have that. A man spent 25% of 1,200 pounds on repairs. Okay, how much is that? So what do we have to calculate? We have to calculate what? 25% of what? 1,200 pounds. Okay, how do we do the calculation? It is very, very easy. Okay, so we have 25% is 25 over 100. Okay, then times 1,200 pounds. Okay, so what do you do next? What do you do next? The next thing you have to do is simple. You cancel the 2 zeros and cancel the 2 zeros. Okay, once you cancel the 2 zeros, you actually divided by what? 10. So guys, I want you to tell me 25 times 12 is what? What's the value of 25 times 12? Let's write it in the comments. What's the value of 25 times 12? Let's write it. I need one person to write it. Let's move on. Okay? What's the value of 25 times 12? What's the value of 25 times 12? Please write it in the comments. You said 300. Okay, let's check. 25 times 12 is 300. So the person is paying 300 pounds for the repair. Thank you so much for saying 300. Suje, thank you. Please let us know where you're watching from, okay? Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm actually teaching from Nigeria. Okay, so let's look at the next one. The next one we got to look at is a discount of 35% is given on an item, on a 200 pound of an item. What is the discount? What is the price after the discount? This is very simple. So to know, we first of all have to get the discount. or if you don't want to get the discount, what you just have to do is that the actual price is at 100% and they gave a discount of 35. Okay? So since they gave a discount of 35, what do you have to do? If you subtract £100 from 100% from 35%, you are going to get 65%. Okay? So if you get 65%, so the seller is actually selling the product at 65% of the actual price. So you have to do 65% of the actual price is £200. Okay? So when you do that, thank you, Sule. You said 130. Let's verify. You have it as what? You have it as 65 over 100 times 200 over 1. So you cancel two zeros, cancel two zeros. So you are left with 65 and 2. So what is the value for 65 times 2 is what? Fastest finger. 65 times 2 is what? Let's know that in the comments. Let's move on, okay? 65 times 2 is what? What is 65 times 2? What is 65 times 2? What is 65 times? What is 65 times 2? Let's write down in the comments if you're following. 65 times 2 is 130. So the answer is 130. So Suleji, you are very right. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please like the live for me, please. The next one we'll look at is that a student got 27 out of 36 questions correct. Here we are told to find what percentage is this. So the person got 27 out of 36 questions right in a test. So our goal here is to know the percentage of the question that the student got right. So let's do that together. So this is basically 27 over 36, the total amount, total number of possible marks. Okay, then multiplied by 100, because if you do that, we actually express it in a fractional form. So we multiply it by 100. So if you multiply by 100, what do you observe? I observe one thing. 3 can divide 27, or 9 can divide 27 to get 3. Okay? So when you divide, I want you to tell me, if you divide 36 by 9, what do you get? Please, guy. Suleji, are you still here? If you divide 36 by 9, what do you get? 36 divided by 9, what's the answer? The answer is 4. Okay? So you have 4. So the next thing we have to do is just to do, 4 can divide 100. 4 divided itself is 1. When you divide 100 by 4, what are you getting? When you divide 100 by 4, what are you getting? When you divide 100 by 4, what are you getting? You are going to get 25. So what do you have at the end? You have it as 3 times 25. What's 3 times 25? What is 3 times 25, guys? What's 3 times 25? Please smash the like button. What's 3 times 25? Guys, please smash the like button, please. 3 times 25 is basically what? 75. Correct. Thank you, Suleji. So he got 75% as the answer, which is right. Then the next question on our list is that a company made 1,500 products. Okay? In that 1,500 products, 10% were exported. We are asked how many were exported. So to know the amount that are actually exported, who liked the like? Thank you so much for the like. To know the amount that was actually exported, we are going to do 10% of the actual product. So we are going to take 10% of 1,500. And that will be 10 over 100 times 1,500 over 1. Okay? So if you do that, you just have to cancel 2 zeros here and cancel 2 zeros here. You are left with 10 times 115. So when you multiply 10, correct, Suleji? Thank you so much for saying 150. You are right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Any other person that will get the answer? 10 times 15 is basically 150. You are right, 150. That's the answer. Okay, so let's move to another one. Okay, thank you guys for the comments. Okay, so let's look at this one. We have a phone increased in price from £300 to £345. We are asked, what is the percentage increase? Okay, so to get the percentage increase, it is very, very simple. Okay, first thing you have to do to get the percentage increase is very simple. Percentage increase, okay, is simple. We have to do the increment over the first price. Okay, first price times 100 over 1. So the actual price was 300 and it was moved to 345. So what do? The difference between 300 and 345 is basically what? Thank you for saying 15%. Is basically 45. So we have 45 over. The initial price was 300. Okay? Then times 100 over 1. Okay? So what do we do here? It's very simple. We cancel out 2 zeros and cancel out 2. If you cancel out, then you can see that 3 divide is 1. 3 divide. If you divide 45 by 3, what do you get? When you divide 45 by 3, what are you getting? Once you divide 45 by 3, what are you getting? Once you divide 45 by 3, you are going to get 15. So the percentage increase was 15%. Good. If you got 15%, let us know in the comments. If you get 15%, let us know in the comments. Okay? Okay, this is how we look at percentage problems. So it is very, very easy. Okay? It's very, very easy. So let's look at this one again. Let's look at this problem again for us. We have that a shirt that originally cost £40 is discounted by 25%. We are trying to know the new price. Okay? For us to get the new price, it is very simple. So at 40%, the cost is at 100%. So we have 100% minus 25%, and that will give us 75%. Okay? So we are looking for the 75% of the amount. That's the actual price the seller is selling. Okay, thank you for saying, Suleji, thank you for saying 30%. Okay? So the actual amount the person is actually selling will now be 75 over 100 times £40. Okay, so if you cancel a 0 and cancel a 0, you have 4 divide itself is 2. 4 divides 10 is 5. 5 is 1. 5 divide this is 15. So we are left with 15 times 2. So what's 15 times 2, guys? What's 15 times 2, guys? What is 15 times 2, guys? What's 15 times 2? It's 30. So the actual price is £30. Okay? So the seller sold it for £30 after giving the discount. So let's look at this one again. They said that we have that a class of 30 students had 80% present. We are told to note how many students were present in the class. So what do we have to do? We have to look at the 80% of the 30 students in the class. That will be 80 over 100 for 80% of 30. Thank you, Suleji. I really appreciate it. So we cancel a 0 here and cancel a 0. Cancel 1 here, cancel 1 here. So I'm left with 8 times 3. So 8 times 3. What's 8 times 3? What's 8 times 3? What's 8 times 3? Suleji, where are you watching from? Which country are you from? So 8 times 3 is 24. So the answer is 24 students were present. Okay? Then they said the next one, Chidi got 45 out of 60 marks. What percentage of the mark? We are looking now at number 3. Chidi got 45 out of 60 marks. We are asked what percent is the mark. So that will be 45, which is this, all over 60. Okay? So to convert to percent, we simply multiply by 100. So what do? I'll multiply by 100 over 1. So if you multiply by 100 over 1, what are you getting? You know that you can cancel a 0. That's dividing by 10. 2 divide 6 is 3. 2 divide 10 is 5. Okay? So what are we getting here? 3 divide is 1. 3 divide 45 is 15. So here we have 15 times 5. So what's the value of 15 times 5, guys? 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 15 times 5 is what? 75. So the answer is 75%. Okay? The answer is 75%. The next one says that a trader increased the price of bag of rice from 80 pounds to 60 pounds. We are told what is the percentage increase. Okay? To note the percentage increase, it is simple. What do you have to do? You just have to do simple thing. You just have to find the increment. How much is between 50 pounds to 60 pounds? The amount that is in between them is 10 pounds. So what do you have? You have that percentage increment will now be the difference between the two, which is 10 pounds. You have 10 pounds over the initial price, which the goods is. And that's 50 pounds. 50 pounds times 100 over 1. Because to convert to percent, you multiply the given fraction by 100 over 1. Okay? So you can now see 50 goes 1. 50 divided this is 2. Okay? So I want you guys, 10 times 2. 10 times 2 is what? Please, let's engage now. 10 times 2 is what? What's 10 times 2? 10 times 2 is 20. So the answer is 20% increment. Thank you, Suleji, for writing 20. 20% increment. Okay? Then the next one says, Amiri saved 20% of her £150 allowance. How much did she save? How much did she save? Let's look at it. So she saved 20% of her income. So 20% of her income is basically 20 over 100 times the allowance here is 150. So times 150 over 1. Okay? So what do we do here? We cancel a 0 and cancel 2 zeros. That's 1 here and 1 here. So what do you have? 2 times 15. So what's the value for 2 times 15? What's the value for 2 times 15? 2 times 15 is what, guys? 2 times 15 is what? 2 times 15 is what, guys? 2 times 15 is what? 2 times 15 is 30. Thank you. 30. So she actually saved 30 pounds from her salary. Okay? 30 pounds was saved. Okay, so let's look at this one again. We have that a school has 500 books. 22% were sold. How many were lost? Okay, we are 22% were lost. How many were lost? Okay, to know how many books that were lost is very simple. What do you need to do? You have to do 22% is 22 over 100. Okay, then the book there is, the number of books in question is 500. Okay, so times 500. Okay, thank you. Times 500 over 1. Okay, so what do you observe? Cancel this too, cancel this. You are left out. You are now having 22 times 5. What's the value for 22 times 5? What's the value of 22 times 5? What's the value for 22 times 5? If you're following, What's the value for 22 times 5? 22 times 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times this is 110. Okay? So 110 books were lost. 110 books were lost. Then the next one says, a man sold his car for 80% of the original price, valued at £2,000. How much did he sell the car? Okay, 90%. So the actual solving should be 90% of the actual value, which is £2,000. Okay, so that will be 90 over 100. Okay, then off, you just have a times £2,000 over 1. Okay, so what do you have here? You cancel two zeros, that's dividing by 10. What do you have? You have 90. You have 90 times 20. So what's 90 times 20? It is very simple. Okay? 90 times 20 is very simple. You do 9 times 2 is 18. You have 18. You just add two zeros. So the man sold the car at the cost of £1,800. At the cost of £1,800. Okay? So that's it. At the cost of £1,800. Okay, I think I've solved this. So the next one is a TV. A TV was £400 but increased by 12%. What's the new price? So since the price actually increased, it is very, very simple. You now have it to be 100 plus 12% increment, and that's 112%. Okay? That's the price they are selling the stuff. So what do you have to do in this situation? You just have to do 112 over 100, converting it to percent, times 400 over 1. Okay? So if you multiply by 400 over 1, what do you have? Cancel two zeros, cancel two zeros. You now have 112 times 4. So 112 times 4 is what? 112 times 4 is what? If you know that, write it in the comments. 112 times 4 is what? If you know it, write it in the comments. 112 times 4 is what? If you know it, write it in the comments. That will be 448. Okay? So the new price of the car is £448. Good. Then the next one says a jug contains 2 liters of milk. If 25% sealed, how many milk remains? Okay? That's simple. You have it as 25 over 100 times, it's in liters, so they didn't tell us to keep it in any other measuration. So it will be wise I still repeat it in the meters. So I'll now have times 2 over 1. Okay? So this divide will be 1. 25 divide 100 is going to be 4. So if you cancel out, you have 1. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Please do well to like the live. Then 2 divide will be 2. Okay? So what do we have here? We have 1 over 2. So we have a half liter. Okay? We just have half liter. Thank you so much. Apologies. Thank you so much. Okay? So we have it as this. So let's look at this one together. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Please like the live for me. That's the way you can support me. You can share to your friends too. So we have, okay, you're from Benin. Okay, that's all right. I'm from Nigeria though. So we have a book gives 20% discount. A bookshop gives 20% discount on a book costing 25. Okay, thank you so much for the like. I really appreciate it. A book gives a 20% discount on a book costing £25. We are asked how much was the discount? Okay, Discount is this 25% on discount. So, oh, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate. Thank you. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. Abolo Jesus. So, what do you have? You just have to do a simple math. It's very simple. 20%, the actual price is 100 minus 20. So, I'm talking about the percent, okay? And that will give you 80%. So, for them to sell it, giving out discount, they are okay. Thank you so much. They are selling it at the current cost of 80%. So we have 80% is 80 over 100 times 25. So what do you observe? You can cancel a zero. Okay. So if you cancel a zero, you see 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 25 goes into themselves. You have it as what? 5 here. So you have 4 times 5. Guys, what's the value for 4 times 5? What's the value for 4 times 5? Guys, if you know that, write it in the comments. What's the value for 4 times 5? 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 4 times 5 is 20. Correct. Thank you so much. So the person is selling it as 20 pounds. Okay? That is the answer. The next one says that a class has 45 students, 40% are boys. How many boys are there in the class? What do you have to do? You have it as 40% is 40 over 100, then times the total number of students, which is 45 over 1. Okay? So what do you have? 40 by, if you divide by 20, you have 2. If you divide by 20, you have 5, right? So guys, 5 divide is 1. 5 divide 45. Thank you so much for writing 18. If you divide 45 by 5, you have 9. So we have 2 times 9, and 2 times 9 is 18. You got it well. Much appreciation, Jesus. Okay? Then the next one will be a car travels at 200 kilometers. If it has completed 60% of the journey, how much journey is that? It's very simple. What do you have to do? You just have to do 60%. Okay, how many journey is done? Okay, 60% of what? Of 200 kilometers. That is 60 over 100 times 200 over 1. Okay? So let's do some simple cancellation here. If you are here, say yes, type yes. Cancel 2 zeros, cancel 2. You have it as what? 60 times 2. Thank you so much, Jesus. Thank you for saying 120. I really appreciate. So that's 120 kilometers. So the man actually covered 120 kilometers for now. Okay, now let's look at the next one. We are told that Blessing scored 72 out of 90. What percentage is that? It's very simple. What do you have to do? You just have to do 72 over 90 times 100 over 1, because you are multiplying. Okay, I should drop my contact. Can I be able to type it? Let me know whether I can type it. Okay, I can type it. Okay, let me write it on the chat. 9 plus 2 plus 234 90 347 35592. That's my number there. I just posted it. Okay. So let's continue, guys. So we have it as cancel a 0, cancel a 0. Okay. Then what do you have? 9 divided is 1. 9 divided 72 is actually 8. So we have 8 times 10. What's the value for 8 times 10, guys? What's the value for 8 times 10? 8 times 10 is 80. So percentage there is 80%. Okay. Apologies, just remember to put the sign of percentage, because if you don't put the sign of percentage, we won't accept the answer. Okay? Then a school has 800 students and 25% of them are in year 5. How many students are in year 5? Thank you for understanding. You have it as 25 over 100, which is 25%, times 800 over 1. Okay? So what do you have to do? You have to just cancel 2 zeros, cancel 2 zeros. You have it as what? 25 times 8. Okay? What's the value for 25 times 8? It is very simple. 5 times 200. You are right. 200 students. 200 students are in year 5. Okay? 200 students are in year 5. They said that a shirt costing £120 is reduced by 30%. What's the price? So you just have to do 100%. Since it's reduced by, I should write the number on the white paper. Like how? I'm writing it now. I wrote 80%. You don't see it? I wrote 200 minus the 30%, okay, which is being reduced. That's gonna give us 70%. So we got to do 70% of £120, and that's 70 over 100 times 120 over 1. Cancel 2 zeros, cancel 2. You have 7 times 12. So what's the value for? I posted it. Okay, you said my contact on the white paper. I do change it very well, but let me put it here. This is the number. Okay, so you have it like this, and that will be 7 times 4 is what? What's 7 times 4? What's 7 times 4? 84. Good. You have it as 84. So the new price is now £84. Okay? So the next one, not 28, not 28. You have a man spent 40% of his salary. If he earns £50,000, how much is rent? Okay? So what do we have to do? We just have to do 40 over 100 times his salary, which is 50,000 over 1. Okay? Okay, 7 times 12. Oh, I'm 12. That was my mistake though. Okay, so we have it as cancel 2 zeros, cancel 2 zeros, yeah? You basically have 40 times 500. Okay? What's the value for 40 times 500? What's the value for 40 times 500? What's the value for 40 times 500? 4 times 5 is 20. Count the number of 0. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's what? 20,000. So the man spends £20,000 on his house rent. Okay, Ada got 18 questions correct out of 24 questions. Thank you so much. Out of 24 questions, what percentage did she score? So what do you have to do? You just have to do a simple math, which is 18 over 24 times 100 over 1. Okay? So what do you have to do at this time? You just have to do simple thing. Let me start with 6 divided 3. 6 divided 4. 4 can divide 24 to get 1. If you divide 100 by 4, what are you getting? Obolo Jesus, if you divide 100 by 4, what are you getting? If you divide 100 by 4, you get 25. So what do you have? 3 times 25, and that's 75. Thank you. So the answer is 75%. You see that now? So you can see that 75% of these students are what? She got 75% of the question. Okay, so this is all. We've finished all the question because we've solved this one initially. Okay, now is your question time. Let's interact. Now is the question time. Let's interact. Let me know the areas. Let me know the areas you are finding it difficult. What are the areas you're finding it difficult in maths? Let's discuss about that. What's the area that you're finding it difficult in maths? Let's discuss that, please. Okay, so thank you guys. Let me take a break for now.